I watched all of Adolescence last night in one unbroken sitting. For 2 hours afterwards, I couldn't stop thinking and talking about the depiction of masculinity and the lack of empathy in some parts of the show. So obviously, this video is going to be a spoiler. At first, I'm going to talk about the problem with the psychologist in episode 3. And then I'm going to talk about the problem of the language around red pilling and toxic masculinity. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the depiction of women in the family. I'm going to start with the really disturbing lack of empathy from the psychologist when she's interrogating Jamie in the training facility. I try to empathize with all sides of a story when I'm listening to it. So I saw that we were able to connect with how disturbed and shook the psychologist was as she was self-soothing and breathing deeply in the room afterwards. That was a profound moment, and I really felt for how uncomfortable, unsafe, and just outright disturbed she was. That interaction with Jamie was very gross and unsettling. I got it, and I felt so bad for the woman. At the same time, I didn't get a chance to connect with Jamie. He was being asked one question after another, not from a place of genuinely trying to connect with what's alive in him, which is how we get our understanding of an understanding. She was just asking him questions to see where he would fit in her diagnosis of him. And once she got an answer that she wanted, she quickly moved on to another question without pausing, without helping this child process some profoundly difficult realizations. When he opened up about how horrible the facility was, which of course, it's a total fucking nightmare to be separated from your family and held in a center with people screaming. And instead of sitting with him there, all she said was, "Can't help you, sit down, answer the next question, sit down," in the middle of him having a meltdown. You do not talk over someone when they're freaking out like that. That is not the way to de-escalate a situation. The only kindness that she offered him was bribery with shitty food, and that wasn't kindness, that was manipulation. People open up more, by the way, if you show them that you're connected with what they're feeling. And they open up less if they feel like you're interrogating them and trying to trap them in their words, which is what Jamie said that he felt. The questions she asked didn't come from a place of kindness and curiosity, but from a position of wanting to label and diagnose, and that doesn't go well for anybody. And it fed into this psychological thriller trope of a brilliant mind or of a detective or a psychologist who understands the minds of others and can find clues in their words. And it taps into our inner Sherlock fetish of believing that we could read the minds of others through subtle clues, and that is just unhealthy bullshit and a trope that needs to die. And if you've made it this far and you want to see more, I did a whole review of this on my YouTube channel, so check that out if you want to hear more ideas.